together.
Wait, hold on, we get Dexter. Stay tuned for Airguns Detectives.
Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. I'm your host, JC, and today we're going to take the mystery out of the Gamo Swarm Magnum 10X Generation 3i for inertia. And I'll explain all that in a minute. Before we get started here, do me a favor. Could you hit that subscribe button down in the corner? It doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free, but it really helps support the channel. Also, when you get an opportunity, check out my website at www.airgundetectives.com. On that site, I've got various t-shirts, I've got some hats, and I have my Generation 2 bipods on there as well. Also, occasionally I liquidate some of my personal inventory and it'll be on there, but it doesn't last long, so check that out. All right, let's talk about the Generation 3 Magnum here. So a lot of you are wondering, okay, what is the big difference between Generation 2 and Generation 3? So let's get right into that. Okay, pretty much the entire gun is exactly the same. Same trigger, stock, scope, barrel, everything. What they changed is the inertia system on this. They improved it. Generation 2 also took an inertia magazine, but they absolutely improved it with the Generation 3. So the inertia of the recoil causes the magazines to advance. So this has a 10-shot magazine, and when you fire the rifle, the recoil causes the magazine to advance, and then you cock it and load another pellet. What that does, it avoids double feeding. So in other words, if you cock the rifle and then you want to check it to make sure you cocked it again, it's not going to load another pellet in for you. So pretty clever, actually. So what else are some of the differences? Well, the number one thing is you notice there's no open sights on this one. The Generation 3 right now doesn't have open sights, but I understand they might offer that as an option a little bit later. But here's some difference. I took some photos just to compare the two for you. So you can look at the difference of the inertia system itself. You can see it's a little lower profile, a little slicker. But, and obviously the suppressor, there's no front sight on it because there's no rear sight on it. But these do take, these will take the Generation 2 magazines. These Generation 2, as long as they're the inertia magazines, they will actually go right in here. Let me show you. So you snap this one out. Here's a Generation 2. It's going to go right in just like that. So the magazines are exactly the same. So it's just the housing has changed. It's improved that inertia system is what's happened. So let's talk specifics about this rifle. If you'll notice, this is the .22 caliber. It has a green band here. And then also the clip for loading the magazine up here is also green. In the .177 caliber, it's red, along with the band is red. And that, I think, will take away some confusion if you're trying to load the wrong magazine in. Maybe some people do. But anyway, it's color coordinated like that. They made it simple. So this features the IGT Mach 1 gas piston. This is the largest piston put out by Gamo. And it definitely earns its name, that's for sure, because there is a little bit of an effort in cocking this rifle. They claim about a 40-45 pound cocking effort. I'm going to debate that. We'll get into more of that at the end. But this does feature the two-stage cat trigger, which is a fantastic trigger. I really like it. They have the recoil reducing rail. They have this thumb hole stock, which is great. The overall gun is pretty light too. It's under 7 pounds, so it's very light. It's got a 21-inch barrel. The overall gun is a little over 49 inches long. But they claim that with an alloy pellet, this will shoot about 1,300 feet per second, and then with a lead pellet, about 975. But we're certainly going to test that out. It also does come with the 3x9x40. This is a 1-inch scope. There's no adjustable objective, but again, it is powered 3 to 9. And the Gamo scopes, they actually have some pretty decent glass on them. They really do. But like anything else, we're going to go out and test this. We're going to go ahead and test the performance, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it in detail. So stay tuned for the next segment. All right, let's test our Gen 3, our Swarm Magnum here for some velocity. Okay, I found the 3 best pellets for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the most accurate ones first, which are the Barracuda Greens, believe it or not, and these are about a 13 grain pellet. And it actually totally surprised me because usually the Magnums don't like to shoot the lighter pellets, but this is a 13 grain pellet, and they're unbelievably accurate. And then I'm going to show you two other pellets afterwards that are also pretty good, and they'd be like a good hunting pellet and what have you. But I'll show you those. But let's just shoot 5 shots. I want to show you what this will do. We'll shoot 5 shots over the crony like we usually do and average it out. All right, shot number 1. 993. Shot number 2. 993 again. That's some seriously good standard deviation. All right, shot number 3. 999. This rifle is really new, so it doesn't have a lot of shots in it. So let's see if we can get any of these over 1,000. Let's see. Got 2 more. 988. That one dropped a little bit. All right, one more. And last but not least, there we go. 1010. 1010. Yeah, usually when the rifle's new, it's got to settle in a little bit, and so you're going to get a little bit of fluctuation in feet per second, but it'll settle down at some point. And I would imagine these pellets are going to settle in with the really high 9s, but really accurate. But also I want to talk about 2 other pellets that are really good. Your field target trophies. These are a 14.66 grain. We averaged 935 feet per second, which these gave us about 28.5 foot-pounds of energy, which is pretty good out of a break barrel, that's for sure. Also, one of my absolute favorites, especially for hunting, is the H&N Hornets. Okay, these average about 895 feet per second and got us just under 29 foot-pounds of energy, so about 28.8, so just under 29 foot-pounds. But these are fantastic. These would be a great hunting pellet because they have really good penetration, and they're probably the second best accurate pellet that I came across. So these are a good one. All right, there's your velocities. Let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's test out the Gamo Swarm Magnum for some accuracy here. We're going to go ahead and shoot the Barracuda green pellets. These are about a 13 grain pellet, and these are kind of a fluke because I tried a few pellets out, and then I was going to settle on the Hornets, the 16 grain Hornets. And then these caught my eye. I said, you know what, let's just try it, because normally I won't try a lighter pellet in the Magnum type rifles. But the performance on these were just amazing. Hopefully we can show you that on paper here. So that's what we're going to shoot, is a Barracuda green. We're also going to shoot at our 4-inch splatterburst targets. Told you guys they come a cool roll now. I'll leave you a link down below. But they really do impact our shots, especially from a distance. We're going to shoot our usual break barrel distance, which is 20 yards. So why don't you go ahead and take a look. All right, let's see how well we can make this group. Let's just shoot 5 shots. This is not for the feeble. This is a 50-pound cocking effort. Just to remind you guys of that. All right. That's one. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. And one more. And 5. I'll take that group every time. I'm telling you. And if those of you that have shot the Magnums before, you know they're a little bit of a challenge because of the recoil. But man, what some tremendous results right there, that's for sure. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's do a quick trigger test on our Gamo Gen3i, our Magnum here, and see what type of pull weight we got. This is right out of the box, but when we're done with this, I'm going to show you a little treat. I'm going to show you the difference that $10 can make as far as the trigger goes in this gun. I'll show you that right after we do this. But let's see how this pulls right out of the box. I'm going to guess, just shooting a little bit, I'm going to guess it's probably close to 4 pounds. I haven't tested it yet, but let's see. All right, 3 pounds, 12.2 ounces. 3 pounds, 12.2 ounces. So really not a bad trigger out of the box. But I'm going to show you how for 10 bucks you can do a massive improvement. Probably the best $10 you'd ever spend on your Gamo rifle if you have a cat or a sat trigger. All right, watch this. All right, let me show you the difference with my trigger kit installed on the rifle. Just show you the difference in pull weight here. Once again, our trusty Lyman trigger gauge. And all right, 1 pound, 14.6 ounces. That is the biggest difference you can make for 10 bucks, I'm telling you, on your Gamo rifles that have the SAT or the cat trigger. Again, if you do get this kit, I would highly recommend a professional installs it. Regardless, even if you're really savvy, I recommend the mallet test on it. That's simply load the gun up, cock it, aim it down range, and smack the hell out of the back of this, pardon my French. But smack it really good, just to make sure that sear is nice and secure and it doesn't disengage. And if it doesn't, you're there. You found your perfect spot. But what a difference. It'll improve your accuracy. The best investment you can ever do in your Gamo rifle. Anyway, I'll leave you guys a link down below for that if you're interested. But let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's do a little plinking with our Gen 3 here, our Swarm Magnum. You notice I'm just using the stock scope on it. It's actually been performing pretty well. And it's fairly clear for a non-adjustable objective. It does have a power setting of 3 to 9, but as far as there's no adjustable objective, but it's pretty clear. So I'm going to try shooting some pretty small objects, but we're also going to shoot the Barracuda greens again. Even though it does well with the other ones, these are just remarkable. They really are. So let's try them out at 40 yards. So we are at our usual 40 yards plinking range. If you guys want to go ahead and take a quick look. See, we got some small objects set up. I got a shotgun shell on its side and a couple other little things, some of those steel eggs, piece of pipe. Let's just see how well we do. 5 shots. I think 5 targets. What we got up there? 5 targets, something like that. So let's see. Hopefully we can get them all down. Ooh, they are small from here. They are really small. Yep, that was a crown. The crown from a Crown Royal bottle, that is. All right, let's hit the, see if we can get the shotgun shell. Just the third one from the right. Oh, that was a hit. God, this thing hits with so much power. And you gotta remember, these pellets we're shooting are traveling close to 1,000 feet per second, so. All right, how about that little pipe to the left? Yeah, that's a hit. All right. Now let's see how much thumping power we got when it comes to knocking these eggs down. Let's do the white one first. Whoa, that's a smack. And how about the last red egg there? Yep. I mean, how is that? We're 40 yards out. I'm hitting the base of a shotgun shell, which is slightly smaller than a nickel. Think about it. This, I am actually thoroughly impressed with this. This is actually really accurate, and we're putting out some good velocity here. All right, let's move on. Final conclusion here and wrap this up. All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion. So how did our Gamo Swarm Magnum do, our Gen 3? Wow. And I do have to say, wow, what an amazing break barrel rifle. If you really think about the price point on these run, they're the $300, $350 range. You can get them on sale, depends. But that's right around what this price is on this. And man, did we get some performance out of it. But like anything else, let me talk about my negatives on this. Negatives right off the bat, if you're an open sight guy, this particular model doesn't have open sights. However, rumor has it that they're going to offer one with open sights. So that will take that negative right away, just like that. Another negative would be it's a heavy cocking effort. Doesn't bother me, but there's some people that it might, okay? So you got to earn the power. You want a powerful break barrel, you're going to earn it by having a heavy cocking effort. And this, I'm going to tell you, is closer to that 50-pound mark for cocking. And I challenge anybody on that one, but it's definitely closer to that. Let's talk a little bit more now about our positives, because I've got a lot of those. First of all, wow, what a powerful break barrel. I mean, we're getting roughly around 28 foot-pounds of energy out of this. I mean, incredible. We're getting great velocity out of it. I just thought the accuracy was just amazing. It was really off the chart. And I was so excited that I discovered those Barracuda green pellets, because I just couldn't believe they performed that good in this. They really did. Now, keep in mind though, the Hornets still would be my choice as far as a hunting pellet goes. Anyway, I love the fact this has that cat trigger. It's a great trigger. It really is. Especially once you throw in that $10 screw kit of mine, it really improves it. And you saw the difference. And that, I'm telling you, when you're target shooting or doing everything else, it greatly improves your accuracy. But I love the system. The cat system is great. I like this thumb hole stock. And I love the fact that this gun weighs under 7 pounds. So that means that you can take this out in the field and you can definitely do your small game hunting with it. And it's not going to be a huge burden. Like I said, under 7 pounds. So you got to love that. I love the inertia fed magazine, and they really improved this. So it's not just the magazine system, it's actually the entire loading system that's been improved on this. And speaking of which, let me show you real quick as far as loading these magazines. There's a couple tricks to them. There really is. So obviously you're going to take your magazine out. I've got a couple of them here. When you rotate the magazine, it's going to, let me show you here, it's going to actually lock in the next position and lock in the next position. And let's just say you happen to spin it and you need to get it back. You just flip this little lever right here. You just flip that forward. But there's a couple of things you need to be aware of. If you're using a shorter skirt pellet, now these 14.66s are a shorter skirt pellet, and if we try to push this pellet in, it won't go in quite all the way. It won't recess, and you won't be able to rotate it. So you're going to have to get yourself some type of little, and it can be a pin, it can be whatever you come up with, but some type of little seeder, so you can just push these pellets down just a little bit, see, so you can get them actually below the lip, and then it will rotate just fine. And so then once again, you drop this pellet in there, you're going to have to seat it down just a little bit, just like this, see, just below. Now that's because these have short skirts on them, and you might have that same issue with some of the Crossmans and some of the others that have short skirts. Now these green ones that I were using, these have longer skirts, as you can see this. Right? They have longer skirts. So these will actually, once you rotate, so you advance it to that position, then it holds it there. Then you have to just kind of put a little pressure on it just to line that hole up so it's perfectly lined up. But these ones, the skirts are long enough where you just push them in and they seat just like that. And you go on to the next. And on to the next. I like that this rifle does take the Generation 2 inertia magazines, as I showed you in the beginning. They're exactly the same. This one just had a red identifier tab. That was a Generation 2, and there's a gray one for the Generation 3. But anyway, that's a little trick on those magazines. So some of the shorter pellets, you might need a little bit of a seeder just to push that down in there so it gets caught by that O-ring, and then the rounds stay in place. But I think overall, this is really actually a fair price for this rifle. I mean, we were just talking about between $350 mark, you probably get it on sale. To have a rifle that has this much power, this much accuracy, and is priced at this point, I think it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. You know, the funny thing is the last several Gamo rifles that I've had, man, they have had fantastic accuracy. So something's going on over there, and they're doing it right. That's for sure. I mean, the last Magnum I had, last couple I had, the Bone Collector, the last one I had, oh my God, the Generation 2, which is actually one of my favorites still, along with this one now. Anyway, this is definitely a 5-star rifle without a doubt. And if you're into hunting, you want power, and you're still into brake barrels, which I think a lot of people are, because what's so great is you don't need an outside air source. And now when you have a 10-round magazine, you got 10 rounds, it's easy to reload, and to get accuracy out of a rifle like this, it's a heck of a deal. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Airgun Detectives. Don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the airgun. Until next time, I hope you're getting a lot of shooting in. I hope your families are all doing well. Anyway, take care and God bless.